What is up, guys? This is Connor, aka Sidewalk Chalk. I just wanted to give you all a quick overview today of my settings in Apex Legends. These are going to be just a quick rundown of what I do to get the best FPS boost, but also have the game still look pretty manageable and nice and all that stuff. So we just run through this real quick here. I leave everything on compact here. Button hints are off as well. If you're just learning the game, leave those on, but eventually turning them off will just unclutter the screen a little bit for you there. I leave the shield icon on. This is very important because you want to know when you're breaking shields and stuff. Damage numbers, floating is my preference. This will automatically add up all the damage and then show you what you did total to them. Stacking is also interesting, but if you're using a lot of full auto weapons and stuff like that, you're not going to want to add up all that and guesstimate what you got. You could do both, but I prefer just the total summation of the damage. Ping opacity, I leave this on faded. That'll kind of not block anybody if there happens to be a ping on a person or something, like you never know. So faded will let you see through that and still be able to see the ping just fine. Obituaries, I personally believe this is extremely important. You might not think about things like this, but in like the top 10 situation and stuff, people dying and stuff and knocks and everything, you can keep track of how many people are alive once that turns into a question mark and stuff. There's a lot of different reasons why I would consider leaving this on. But yeah, that's my personal preference, but I definitely think it's an advantage for the game. Incoming damage feedback, I leave this on 3D. I would recommend only doing this or this, definitely not just 2D, because you want to have the best idea of where damage is coming from so you can spot your enemies. Streamer mode, I leave this off personally. If you're a big streamer or you're getting stream sniped and stuff, feel free to turn that off, or if you just don't care about the names. But I personally like to know who's been knocked and who's back up and things like that, and it's the easiest to do when you have streamer mode off and you can see those full gamer tags. Usage sharing, I leave this on. It doesn't really change anything, but it does send your information from the game to EA and all them. So I just leave it on. Helps them improve the game. Doesn't slow me down or anything like PUBG's reporting system does for crashes and such. Colorblind mode, I leave that off. Obviously, if you're colorblind or if you like the settings different, like feel free to test them out, but I personally don't change that. And enable accessible chat features, I also leave this off, but again, feel free to mess with that as you wish. Convert incoming voice chat to text and voice to chat text, sorry, and play incoming text chat as speech. So again, just turn those on if you'd like, but personally I don't feel the need to do so. My sensitivity, I've recently changed a little bit. I've changed it a lot actually. I can't really find a spot I love, but so far I'm really digging this. 2.8 is my main sensitivity, and then my ADS multiplier is just 1.0, so it maintains a consistent flow. But again, this is all personal preference. You definitely want to feel around and see what you like. Obviously leaving these both off, I don't see a reason why anybody would ever do these things, but I mean, more power to you if you pull it off. I've changed 2 of my keybinds. I come from PUBG, so I wanted to change my interact back to F so I didn't get confused when I switched games and stuff. So F is now my interact, which leaves E open for my ping. I don't really like using the middle mouse button for that because I always find myself scrolling and stuff and changing my weapons when I don't want to do that. So I've actually changed that to E. It's very easy to ping really quick while you're running and stuff. So yeah, that's why I did that. Video settings, this is where it really matters for you if you're trying to get better FPS and stuff. Display mode, you always want it to be on full screen for the best results in terms of frames. Aspect ratio, I leave this on 16 and 9. The native aspect ratio, if you want to change it, feel free. You can get better results for FPS if you want to change it to lower ones, but for the best picture quality and everything, overall experience, if you can handle it, definitely leave this on native, as well as the resolution. Field of view, 90 is kind of the base level for FPS titles. I think if you go any lower than that, you're kind of getting tunnel vision. You can't see as much around you in your peripherals. So I leave it on 90 for the best FPS boost, but also to see enough of the screen. You can go all the way up to 110, but again, that's all personal preference and depends on the rig you've got. If you can handle it, go for it. If not, 90 I think is a pretty comfortable spot. Colorblind mode, I have that off, but again, if you need it, or if you like to have the different settings, then go ahead. VSync, I always disable this, but I mean, some people have mixed opinions on VSync, so use it as your own discretion, at your own discretion. Adaptive resolution FPS target, now this will change your settings dynamically as the game progresses, as the game sees fit. I don't know. I haven't tried it honestly, but it sounds sketchy to me, so I haven't touched that. And maybe I'm wrong about it, so feel free to tell me if I am. Anti-aliasing, I always leave this as high as I possibly can in games, without hurting my FPS too much, because it does make those jagged lines and everything look so much better, and you can see movement of characters over top of those jagged backgrounds so much clearer. So this game only has 2 options, so I leave it on TSAA. Texture streaming budget, you're going to want to match this to your graphics card. I have mine set to 4 gigs. You can go higher if you want it to look better and you can handle that. You can go lower if you want a little bit more of a boost, but you don't care that the game looks a little bit shittier. Texture filtering, I leave this on the lowest one though, just for the FPS boost obviously, but again, turn it up if you like the way it looks more and if you can handle it. Ambient occlusion, I never turn this on in games unless maybe it's like a single player game, whatever, but obviously you're not here for that right now. So disable that, as well as all of these settings through here. Sun shadow coverage, sun shadow detail, spot shadow detail, volumetric lighting, and dynamic spot shadows. All of these things in an FPS are not necessary, and all of these things will boost your FPS significantly when you turn them all off as opposed to having them all on. Then we get down to the bottom here. Model detail is one of the only settings in the video settings that I leave on the max setting, because you're going to be looking at your gun and other characters and your teammates and stuff a lot, and I want that to look good. If you want to go down, I suggest only going down to medium, or else it's going to look really bad on low. Medium is tolerable, and then high looks really nice, and it doesn't really affect your FPS that much to do that. FX detail, I leave this on low as well, but again, if you can handle it, it makes the game look a lot better when you're fighting, but it also makes it so that you can see a lot better in the red zone and like during fights and stuff if you had this on low. Impact marks, I would only ever turn this on if you're trying to test recoil patterns. Otherwise, there's no point in it. You're never gonna like get shot at and then like count the bullet holes in the wall to see how many bullets were shot at you. I don't know. So I leave that disabled, and then ragdolls, leave that on low as well. It is hilarious to see ragdoll effects, but it, again, is not worth the load on your CPU. And then, apply. And then for the volume and stuff, I leave the master volume on 100% so you can get the max volume out of the game, and then turn it up as you see fit with your headphones or PC volume or whatever you need to do. And then the only other thing I've changed here is the music volume is very obnoxious in this game, as it is in a lot of games lately, it seems like. So music volume I had to 28%, and lobby music volume I had completely off because I typically play my own music in the background when I'm in the lobby. So yeah, that's it for my settings in Apex Legends. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions or any other things that you'd like to change, any questions about anything that I could try to answer for you as well, feel free to do so in the comments below. And of course I had to plug my stream, twitch.tv/sidewalkchalk. I do a lot of Apex Legends, PUBG, some Smash Brothers sometimes, Magic the Gathering, just a random little mix of other things, but mostly FPS and VR titles. So yeah, thanks a lot for being here, and we'll see you next time.